If your books don't make you blush,
and your coffee doesn't make your heart race,
you might want to sit this one out. This is
It's
Espresso and
Espresso
Books
Books
After
After
Dark.
Dark.
I love our intro so much.
Yay. That's adorable. Okay. So, Happy New Year. We're officially in 2026 and we made it through 2025. How? I don't know. Pure caffeine and books.
Miracle. Miracle.
But we made it through. But yeah, I know we don't have any viewers, but you know, for those of you who see this somehow later, we are your hosts.
Hear it on our actual podcast channels.
Hey, we are your hosts, your quirky little hosts. I'm Pao.
And I'm Nikki.
And we're here because we are Espresso and Books After Dark. We're happy to be back and excited to kick things off for this new year. Because, you know, with each year, new hopes. So to kick us off.
Not me, I'm so sorry. Not me thinking new hopes to crash and burn.
When the intrusive thoughts win, y'all. When the intrusive thoughts win. Okay, so considering it's the new year, Nikki and I decided we wanted to look forward and we wanted to talk about our January hopefuls and our overall 2026 bookish goals. I'm going to hand the reins over to my dear Nikki over here so we get a break from my voice. Okay.
So I have 5 goals listed. My first goal for this year is for the bookish aspect of my life is to read 75 books this year. I think my goal was like 70 last year and I was just a couple books shy. So this year I'm really excited about meeting that goal since I was so close last year. And I have more time. I'm not working a bajillion jobs. And I've dived deeply into the audios. So I really feel hopeful. I do feel hopeful about meeting that goal this year.
I love it.
As for which book I'm looking most forward to in January, that's hard. However, I have 2, and that would be Pretty Dead Things by Sadie J. Fox. It's book 2. It picks up right where it left off, and I can't wait to read it.
Mm-hmm.
And probably Den of Vipers.
Yes! Boom!
I've been waiting. I'm like, I want to start it.
I've been waiting.
I'm ready to start it.
Yay. I love it.
How about you? What's your first goal of the year?
My first goal, obviously, is the amount of books I want to read this year. This year I set my goal to be 175. So just like twice and a little over your goal.
It's okay. But you know what's so like great about that? What's crazy to me about that is you work out of school and like I work and my job is busy, and so like it makes reading at work hard, right? Because like a lot of people are able to do that. I can listen to an audio every now and then. You don't get that at all, and somehow you still read that much.
You know, it's just it's like I once heard or saw. It's not so much about finding the time to read, but it's more about being able to dodge your responsibilities.
I love it. Yes, ma'am.
That's literally my motto nowadays.
I can't dodge too many responsibilities because I've got kids.
I know. And this is something we constantly talk about when we compare our, like, the amount of books we read. Right? So I'm not like, yeah. So yeah, so my goal is 175. Mostly because last year my goal was 200.
Okay.
And I didn't quite reach it. I was short. I want to say like 20 something books. It was mostly just because I didn't count me getting a teaching job so soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so that completely like skewed my plans because I had to get back into the groove of things. So I decided to bring it back down to 175, which was my goal in 2024. And ironically, I surpassed that goal and read 280 something books, hence the 200 goal. Yeah. So it's crazy how life can change. Like, so I was like, I can do 200 again. I was wrong. So here we are.
What is your most like look forward to for the month of January?
Okay. So I did, my hopefuls is 15 books. And they're mostly based on a Taylor Swift read along challenge that I joined through Instagram. So 12 out of the 15 are for the prompts of the challenge. And then the other 3 are buddy reads and book club. But out of all 15, the one I'm most looking forward to, I want to say it's like a tie between, I have them next to me, ironically, Be Your Somebody by Natalie Knowles, because I read the sequel, the second book in this interconnected series. And I was hooked. So I want to read the first one. And I had an interview with Natalie as well. I'm like, girl, I'm hooked. And then obviously my reread of Den of Vipers because I'm buddy reading it with you. So,
I know. I think that's what makes me so excited to get to Den of Vipers is because like buddy reading and being able to like enjoy it together.
Yes, I need
I'm
me some
hoping.
Diesel in my life, okay?
I'm so excited. Everybody hypes it up. I'm really excited. I'm really hoping we actually get through this buddy read.
Me too.
Unlike our last one, which we have to go back and finish.
What was our last one?
By El Mitchell. Runaways. Runaways.
Oh,
We
got so busy.
Yeah.
That was like the worst timing for us to want to do a buddy read. And the saddest part is that we're both so hooked and obsessed with the book, but we haven't had time to like actually sit down and read it together. And that
like
was our issue.
Yeah, refusing to read it without each other. So
Yeah, because we were like, we're gonna read it over FaceTime or Discord, like a video chat. We're gonna read it together. I kind of regret.
And you don't understand how much like effort that takes for Pal because she's a speed reader and I am not. Like actually, I think if she could like,
I would have finished
read
that
faster. She would.
I would have finished that first night or the second night. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I gotta wait for Nikki. But yeah. Okay. What's your next goal?
My next goal is actually, it lines up with that, to finish books I start before my mood changes. So and this leads into a topic a little bit later, but being a mood reader, if my mood shifts in the middle of a book, it makes it hard for me to get through the book. And it's not because I don't enjoy the book. I could absolutely love the book. It's because I'm not in the mood for what I'm reading. So like, as a like true dark romance girly, sometimes contemporary is a little harder for me to get through. I have to be in the mood for contemporary. I have to be in the mood for certain things. So like, I'm a little nervous about the cowboy one I'm starting because I'm like, I need to get through this. I want to get through it, and I'm like, is the mood gonna hit? So that's my goal, is to start it and finish it before my mood changes.
Fair enough. My second goal is I want to finish at least 4 like incomplete series I have. Our friend Jenny has her goal, her like main goal I think for this year is to finish the series she started, and I'm over here like I've started so many series I can't even remember how many. B, some of these series be long. Like I ain't got time to read all them books. Like one of the series I started was Zodiac Academy.
I want to start that one this year.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the first book. I want to finish. I want to continue reading the series, but I am not tying myself to finishing it this year because that's just too many books. And if I were to do that, that's all I would be reading, and I need more variety. So I narrowed it down. I want to finish at least 4. Now, if I finish more, hurrah! But 4. And somewhere I had texted the 4 I want to prioritize. Do not ask me what they were. I forgot. My brain ain't working. But yeah, I want to finish this. Whether it's ongoing or not. Like, if it's ongoing, I just want to catch up.
That's actually my next goal. To finish a few series I started and then got really busy and wasn't able to finish. I started The Four Horsemen, which I have been dying.
I love how Jenny like completely ditched us and said,
well, because she was like, they're never gonna
she was
do
like,
it.
Nikki be taking too long, I'ma just boom. And I'm like, oh, I can't do it right now. I can't join you on this one. Maybe the next one.
Well, it's just that those are decent sized books. Okay, they're not.
They're this tiny for me.
No, they're not.
No, I'm talking about because I read them on Kindle, so they're this.
Oh, I'm like,
I know War. I think was the thickest.
They're like about this big. Like
I think War was the thickest though. So
War is, and that's the next one I have to read. So it's not
that's
that
why it's taking so long.
Not that I don't want to. It's just like I know I'm going into this.
That's me with Quicksilver. I keep looking at it, and it's this. I'm like, I what?
If I had seen Sadie's, if I had seen this,
the Google Doc really like did not prepare us for how thick that book was.
If I had seen this before I picked it up, it took me long knowing that not knowing this. It took me forever to get through.
It took me, I think once I actually buckled down, it took me like those 3 days.
I mean, the Google Doc was basically like a scroll out of Milan. Like,
yeah. But
I loved it. But that happened to actually roll into my third. That your second is my third.
Yeah.
Goal. And the reason for that is literally just because I'm tired of starting series and not finishing them.
My third goal is I want to start tracking my reading in a physical journal. I already had the physical journal. I got it a few years back. I think I got it in 2024. Completely ditched it because of my move, and I was like, I don't know where it is, and I'm like, I don't want to start it midway through the year last year. So I finally found it, and it's right here. So my goal, my goal for this year is to use it because I spent money on it and I like it. So that's one. And then I'm also doing another one that's like a bit less structured. So I have a bit more leeway, like creativity of like how I want to log the reading. And it's also my 75 booked journal, challenge journal. So yeah. So this one's more for like my reviews. And then this is more like reading session wise of like how often was I reading, how long did it last, and so on. So
okay, I'm always wondering like how do you journal because it's not physical journal sounds great and fun, but I know for sure the kind of person I am that's just not going to happen.
For me it depends. We shall see how it goes because I get into like I'm gonna do it, and then I'm really good for a while, and then I like miss something, like I miss a review, and then I'm like, hey. Like, so I have to hold myself accountable and consistent. I have to do one review, because I finished my third book, but I haven't done the review for it. So that's my goal for tomorrow.
So I'm really, really excited about my number 4, probably more than any other one. I want to fall deeply in love with stories. I think in 25, I got busy and then I felt committed to certain things. And at some points, it felt more obligatory than it did for enjoyment. And towards the end of 25, I found my joy in reading a little bit again. So this year, I really want to prioritize just reading what I love and what I want. Like, I'm not overcommitting myself on signups. I'm genuinely just reading what I want to read. Or like, if an author is like, "Hey, do you want to read this?" And I'm like, "Yes, absolutely." You know? Um, yeah. Listen to my moods a little bit.
Yeah,
So
I get that. I
that's
think I'm very similar. That wasn't one of my goals, but like I'm very similar in that sense that like I might overcommit, and then next thing I know, I'm like, I don't want to read any of this because now I feel overwhelmed, and
mhm.
it's
I feel like
more.
it gives
It
you a
feels
sense of burnout.
that, and it feels like another job on top of the one I already have, and I'm like,
Mhm.
reading is meant to be like my getaway from that, and I love supporting authors, and I will sign up for the arcs, and like, but for this year, like I didn't include it, but like one of my goals, like not top 5, but a goal of mine, a bonus is to be more intentional about what arcs I take on,
Yes.
instead of
So
the like, whee! And then all I'm reading are arcs, and I'm like, where am I? Like my actual, like the ones I actually took the time to like buy or get for myself, you know.
yeah, no, that makes so much sense to me because, like as an author PA, I know my author's books are what I'm going to be reading. I'm excited to read those books. I want to read them. But then when I have other things, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read this, and then I sign up, and then okay, for instance, if I sign up for something, and then it's 2 or 3 months later, I was in the mood for it
Then
2 or 3. So now I have to like, oh, get back in the mood. Sometimes it's relatively easy. Sometimes it's like,
no, thank
just
you. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
the
know what three
thing.
months ago Nikki was thinking.
Yeah,
You know, um, and I'm not saying that in a negative way because as well, I love working with authors and I love reading their
and
I
there's a
love it.
reason we signed up for it at to begin with. It's just timing and moods, and like circumstances change from when you sign up to when
Yeah,
you receive it sometimes.
my thought process this year is I have
She's counting, y'all. It takes her a moment.
I'm thinking I have off the top of my head about 8 authors who I will consistently sign up for and who I will consistently be reading for through every year. And that's reading alphas and drafts, arcs, like all of it. So you factor in 8 plus how many books they put out or how big of a book that they put out. Then all of a sudden, that's a lot. Especially when like 75 isn't a huge goal. But 75 for somebody who, when like I started reading, I think I read like 3 books a year. So it's like, oh, that's a hefty goal. So how many authors?
Off the top of my I think I have 4 or 5. I'm going to start working with a new author soon. I'm one of her beta readers. A friend of mine recommended me to her. And I'm very intrigued because she was also looking for like sensitivity readers that like Spanish speaking or like Hispanics, so she gets the Spanish correct. And like I think also the culture and stuff, and I'm like, yes. So, but I
I
have
was like,
5.
sign me up.
So not like excluding her just because I haven't worked with her before. So, you know, I have 5 like repeat authors that I like. If they ask me, I'm there to like alpha, beta, art. I am there. All 3, I am there. Like, because
Yeah.
some authors I do it like I do the beta read and then I do the arc read as well because I'm like I love your story and I know you changed something, so I'm here to figure out what those changes were.
Right.
And obviously Sadie is one of them. I'm just
Mhm.
terrified.
I know. While you were while you're doing it, I'm like, oh wait, I think I might have like 9, 10. I'm gonna round up and just say 10.
Yeah,
So.
I have because I have Sadie, Jillian, because Jillian is coming up with a new
Mhm.
series. I'm like,
And that's the thing. That's 4 right there.
yeah. So it's them. If my friend and author Jess Christine a lot like has me back on her beta team because I know sometimes authors like to switch things up to get a new perspective. Like
Revamp.
if
Yep.
if she asks me, I'm like I'm there. I told her I'm like I like message with her a lot. I'm like if you need me, I am there. And like it happened with this last story, she like because she switched she shifted gears from her like contemporary romance to a her main series to her new holiday retelling um sports, and it was a new genre trope base, so she didn't go for her usual betas, but then she was like I didn't get as much feedback, or like I need a bit more feedback from people, and she reached out to me and I was like yeah, and then I like devoured it in like less than a week. I'm like, how like what's your deadline? And I'm like I'm here. So
Yeah.
she's another one, and then I'm working with Genevieve Ami Moon as one of her alphas. But it's interesting seeing that's another topic we need to do, the difference between alpha, beta, and art
Mm-hmm.
readers
Yes.
reading, because it takes it's different skills and types of like patient.
It is. It is.
Uh,
I think
so that was your goal for my turn, right?
yes.
Okay, so my 4th goal, we went. See, this is why I contact for this much time, y'all. For my 4th goal is to complete 2 reading challenges, because your girl loves to sign up and then forget that she intended to do reading challenges. So this year I'm being intentional, and I decided to like keep it at a minimum, like a low number, as to not overwhelm myself like with a daunting number. So I chose 2. Obviously right now I'm working through the 75 booked challenge. So far I'm acing it, but it's only day 7, so we shall see. I still have a few more days to go. And then another challenge I would like to complete this year is like the Taylor Swift read along, because I love Taylor. But we shall see, because that involves like 14 prompts a month. So we shall see how it goes. But
Okay.
yeah, so 2 reading challenges, 75 booked is my first one. And then we shall see which other one I am able to complete.
Okay. That sounds like a good challenge. That sounds like a good time.
Yes.
5. Be better about posting my reads. But this also goes to being better about organizing what I'm going to read and actually like sticking to it, which kind of leads back to finishing the books I start, because I think I have 16 on my list, and that doesn't count the audios, because I have, well, it has like 2 of the audios on there, but I just got another one. Excuse me. I just got another ALC today, so I now have 3 ALCs to finish this month. at least. And I signed up for it. I was like, yeah, I'll do 6 a month.
Instant regret.
6 a month, 8-hour books. I could do that. And then I'm like, someone put something in my mind, because what was I thinking?
Yeah, I got to a point that I signed up for so many arcs that a group of my friends who I run the book club with literally had to start policing me about arc signups. I'd be like, I just saw another arc, and they're like, you already have 30. Cut it out.
No, the amount of arcs
okay.
you took on is insane.
Okay, but before we get sidetracked again, my 5th goal for the year, and I'm like, and it ties into the reading challenge because it's like one of the main reasons 75 book exists, is to prioritize my physical TBR, or the books that I actually physically own. I can read it in whatever format. If I decide to read the physical, or if I have the Kindle, or if it's on KU on audio, it'll count as long as I'm able to be like, okay, I do own the book. So boom, And one of the reasons because I got myself this little basket and I wanted to use it. So yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. So, next up, we have blind ranking tropes.
Ooh.
Now, I'm going to let you lead that one because that game was your idea. So I need to know how to play.
Okay, so blind ranking tropes. We each are going to give the other 5 different tropes, and the person getting the tropes, if I'm sharing them, you have to place them from 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th without knowing what comes next.
I remember you mentioning this. I don't know how I feel about this.
So, did that make sense?
Okay. Okay. Good? Yeah. I got it. I can do it. I can do it. I could do it. This is one of those things where if you watch or if you're listening, at any point, just let us know what your rankings were too. So we know that you guys are having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 tropes. 5 tropes each? We each get different tropes.
Yeah.
Okay. You go first.
Me? Okay. As in me telling you and you ranking, or?
Yeah, I'll rank.
Okay. All my tropes went. Okay, I know not to do that because you're gonna place that first, regardless of whatever happens. Brother's best friend.
The worst part about this is I don't know what comes next.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, I'm gonna put it at 3.
Okay, that's what
And that's hard.
That's what I was thinking you were gonna do. So, forced proximity.
1 through 5. 5 is low. 1. I just don't know if you're gonna give me my ick. 4.
Okay. Fated mates.
2.
Okay. I'm thinking. Oh. I love that we're really close friends, so I know exactly how I could play this. If I wanted to. Oh, okay. Second chance.
5.
And like, I'm not gonna be that mean. And then for first place, because that's the only one left. I don't know how I want to play this one.
I'm so nervous because I'm just like, I'm either gonna love the way this goes or hate the way this goes. And like, I don't know why that stresses me out because
Oh, okay. I got one. I feel like it's like in the middle where you won't hate me, but I won't be your favorite person for a few minutes.
okay.
Small town.
Okay. I do wish. Okay, if ideally brother's best friend would have been first, then fated mates. What were my other 3? Small town, force proximity. So I would have just rearranged the 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because you went so quickly with small town that I was like, crap, that did not go the way I wanted, and I was like, or no, not small town, with the one I said before small town, the
Second chance.
second chance. You put in fifth so fast. I was like, no, she was supposed to try. Think.
Sorry. Second chance is really, it is good. It's just not my favorite.
Fair.
I've only read a few second chances. I did love them, but
At one point,
it's not my go. I want you because it's so much harder to do second chance romance with my favorite trope.
yeah.
So that's why I think it's not.
I was so, because if you had put like second chance in first place, I would have been like, my answer, my like final trope was gonna be he falls harder.
Yeah.
But I knew not to play enemies to lovers, at all. Like, especially if you left like fifth last. I'm like, she will kill me if I make her put enemies to lovers last. So anyway,
Okay, you ready?
my turn to be tortured.
Yeah. Okay. Lumberjack.
Oh God, considering him.
I know.
4.
Okay.
Get that.
1 bed.
2.
Okay. Breath play.
No! I really love breath play, but there are other stuff I like more. But like 1. I'm gonna put in 1.
Okay. So you only have 3 and 5 left.
Yep.
Age gap.
5.
Okay. So for 3, I'm gonna do He Falls Harder.
So what was okay? So it's breath play, and then I put 1 bed. He falls hard. You know what? I'm fine with the way I ranked it. Okay, I can live with it. I feel happy.
I feel like we should have saved breath play. If I saved breath play for last, that could have turned out so different.
Real. No. I was so nervous. I was like, ugh. You said lumberjack, and I was just like, this is not starting out on a like evil note as I thought it would.
It's not so fun being on the other side of voting.
Okay. I feel like if we do this again, we need to come with the tropes plan, so we're not like there's not dead air as we come up with them.
Fair. I honestly didn't know it was, so I didn't know what to prepare for on that one, and I should have asked.
Fair.
That was on me. Okay. next topic of the evening, I'm really excited to talk about actually. So
Sure.
it's mood reading. Is mood reading a blessing or a curse? Depends on who you ask and which mood you pick.
As the resident mood reader that Nikki is.
I think it's both, because like when you're in it and you're in the right mood and you're reading, you are just vibing. Like basically nothing can ruin that book for you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they throw your ick in somewhere, then sure, that'll ruin it. But like that's a rarity, okay? We're talking about like you're just vibing. You know, people talk about, oh, that was written so bad, and it's like, did we read the same book? Errors did not exist in this book. There was
Yeah.
not a word spelled wrong, a comma wasn't missing, none of that. That blinders were on, and we were just vibing. And those are some of the best reads. The curse side of that is going into a slump real quick.
For me, I am not as much of a mood reader as Nikki is, or a lot of my friends are. Um it depends on like the month or whatnot, and like what releases might be coming up. But I tend to be decently good at sticking to my hopefuls.
I
Um, when I do hopefuls, I think I
Yeah,
didn't do hopefuls that much last year. Um, just because I really wanted to focus on just reading whatever I felt like reading.
yeah.
But when I do, I do decently well. Just because, like, I know because it's books I know I want to read, and I've had them for a while, and I'm like I've been excited, and I finally get the chance. With mood reading, nah, for real. There are times like KU is my downfall. I swear, because there are times like I want to read something short, like a quick read, because I'm like I want to get some minutes in, but I don't have enough brain power to fully get into my story that requires the brain power. So I'm like, next thing I know, I discover a new series, like a new
And every book is
series or
this big.
something, and I've read it. Like that happened with me with Eden Finley. I stumbled across her fake boyfriend series, and next thing I know, it was gone. I was done, and I was moving on to Puck Boys or CU Hockey, and now I'm like, I've read all of the universe. I
Yeah.
read the whole universe that Eden created, and I went into a spiral.
I definitely see the curse aspect of mood reading a lot more when you're friends with somebody who's not as much of a mood reader. Like, for instance, this, you sat there and stared at a wall, and then within like 2 hours, you started a new book.
Yeah, I processed. I went through the
I finished
full.
this. I don't think I touched another book. I like what happens is this is so good that now starting something new feels like work. Like I don't want something else, I want more. So
Yeah.
finding that is hard as a mood reader. And
Um,
watching you do it so effortlessly.
I think it started because I used to be the reader that like after a great book like Deadly Blooms, or in my case, like which is when I started, it was Crescent City 2, so House of Sky and Breath. I would get into such a book slump afterwards, and it took ages for me to get out of it. And I'm like, I don't like being in a book slump because this is literally my passion and like the thing that brings me so much joy, like reading books,
Yeah,
you know.
makes sense.
Um, so I don't know, I like low key like kind of like trained myself in a way of like, okay, I process, but like I have to pick a book up as soon as I possibly can, and like as I get the chance. Otherwise, who knows? And I'm like, I ain't doing no book slumps. I haven't had a book slump since in like 2-3 years now, I think. Thank God, because otherwise,
I love that because I know
I'm
I'll
terrified
literally message
of
you.
book slumps. Like
Yeah.
they terrify me, and I feel like because I have friends who have been in book slumps, like they were in it one for most of last year, and I'm like, I am so sorry, my beautiful darling, because it sucks because you want to read, but at the same time you can't, or you actually can't, like, don't want to read. It's like that mental battle and challenge. I'm like, I
I'll
can't afford that because this is the only thing that brings me joy.
Yeah, no. And I'll say, like, for me, slumps come with burnout.
Yeah.
So, like, I had quite a few slumps last year. You know, working 3 jobs and struggling with other things and just trying like the last few years were just survival for me, you know, and just like constantly feeling like I just need to make it through. Like I just need to get through this. So then I would read and then I would be like, I'm just so tired. Like
Mm-hmm.
even reading felt like too much of a chore. So I think now when I did read, I felt great. I loved it. I would listen. That's where I grew more into audios because I would work and I would be working overnights and I would be listening to an audiobook and I was falling in love with the stories and like that was amazing. And then I'd finish a really good story and I'd be like, I don't want to take the time to try to find something else that I like, you know, um, which kind of puts us on the question you asked yesterday, what's the impact of mood reading?
Yeah.
So mood reading affects your hopefuls.
Oh my God, it really does.
Yeah, because if you're anything like me, you can't read something you aren't in the mood for. You just can't do it. No matter how many times you pick that thing up and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna get through this. You don't enjoy it as much, and then it's like, okay, well, am I not enjoying this because I don't like it, or am I not enjoying this because I'm not in the mood for it? And I feel like every book deserves the opportunity for you to really enjoy it. So when you're not in the mood and you're a mood reader, that's like, no. It also means stopping in the middle of a book sometimes because you just don't feel like it anymore. And it's just not vibing. You're just not in the mood. And then, you know, maybe you paused because you got busy for a couple days and now it's like, yeah, the book just doesn't do it right now. Or, right, right. Or losing sleep over a book. Like drastically. Okay, I'm getting too old to be losing sleep, guys. Too old. And now all of a sudden it's 3 a.m. and I'm stuck in a book. Crazy. Crazy. I got 2 hours of sleep in there. Um, Mood readers do need to not be so harsh on themselves, on their goals. That's what the impact is. Don't be so hard on yourself. Like just go with it. Write your write your 16 books down and then just pick from the 16. There's no right order. There's no wrong way. Write the 16 you need. In that if you write a list, in that list you're going to have one thing that'll fit your mood.
Yep.
At least that's the hopeful. Um, I mean, would you agree with that?
I think so, yeah. And you have to understand, like, because it's not, because I don't know why it is, but like we tend, as readers, you know, like we tend to be a lot harsher on ourselves when it comes to the amount of books we read or how we read them or how fast we are. Like mood reading, like you just said, is like we're so hard on ourselves. But if we take it, like if we look at other situations like food, like sometimes you're not in the food for like in the mood for some food, for a certain kind of food, and we're like, okay, cool, what's the next option, you know, and we move on. But when it's this kind of situation with the books, it's so much like we put ourselves in so much pressure. It's just we need, like, for those who it applies to, like, we need to learn to give ourselves grace,
Yeah.
because it's normal. Like, you're not always going to be in the mood. Like, you're sometimes not in the mood to make love or whatever, you know, and it's acceptable. It's one thing we constantly say: if you're not in the mood, you're not in the mood. Like, there's no need to force it, you know.
I think the thing is, as readers, we get in this thing of like, DNFing is not allowed.
Yeah, we do.
Said who? Who made that rule? Because that's the whole point of that's the whole point of a book. I'm not in it. I can put it down. It's a big part of accepting not every book is for every reader, and that's okay if you picked up a book that wasn't for you. But when it comes to your mood and mood reading, it's honestly just self-awareness, being aware, like, this is a good book. I'm just not in the mood for this book. I'm going to put it down until I am in the mood. If you don't get back to it, you don't get back to it. But it's a lot better to put a book down when you're not in the mood for it than to force yourself to read it and then not enjoy it. Because
Yeah.
you deserve to enjoy the book. And the author deserves for you to enjoy their story because you were reading, not because you forced yourself through something you weren't in the mood for. Hi, Ashley.
Hey.
So I just think, like, kind of coming around to, like, accepting it's okay to put it down. You don't have to finish it. I did that with Brimstone. And that was, I know that was my fault. I know that's also what threw me into my slump. Reading a 24 plus hour book. It was like 26 or something. I don't know. It was a long book in less than a day at 2 times speed. Definitely threw me into a slump.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed it less. I was like, oh, I'm not even in the mood for this, and I just have to read it, and I have to be done with it. And I enjoyed it less than it deserves. So I will be reading it again at some point so I can enjoy the story. That is basically all I have to say on the blessing and curse and mood reading aspect. Me personally.
No, same. It can definitely be both. Because I like the blessing part is how into a book you can get
So
when you're moved for, like, the way you are transported fully into the story. You fall in love with the characters, the story. You're right beside them going through it all, and like you're feeling all the, like, I just had it happen with the latest book I finished, Miano's Rescue. I was like reading on the couch. My step siblings were next to me. We were each reading our books, and next thing I know, I'm like busting out laughing because I'm like so into the story and something that's really funny happened. And obviously they're teenagers, so I got a lot of side eyes. But it's just, it helps expand that joy that reading is meant to bring you. And then, like we said, the curse, the pressure, the need to finish the book because it's like you're going to be frowned upon for not doing it.
I just read Catalyst, and I was so into Catalyst. I, like, as soon as it finished, I literally texted the author. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah. And like that's one of the lovely things with Bookstagram. Like, you can finish, especially with the indie authors, you know, you can finish their book. You have never talked to them, like, for something, because I've done it. Like, you may have never talked to them, but you know, you're on the ARC team, so like you have some leeway. It's like, hey, I'm on your ARC team. What the heck did you do to me, woman? Like, man, like, what? Where's the rest? What's happening? You know, and it's just, and next thing you know, you have a new friend.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so great. It's so great. Yeah. So I think that leads us into our reminders for the evening.
Yeah.
To give yourself space and just go with what works for now. It's as the year goes on and things change, you know, I mean, genuinely change, like with the seasons. Just give yourself grace. If you're mood reading, mood read. If you feel like I can't do the mood reading, I need to try to train myself out of it. Try to train yourself out of it. I mean, I'm sure reach out to Pal. She'll give you some tips. So just do what works for now. And read what you want and what you love. There is no reason for you to ever have to read something you're not loving or that you don't want to read. So don't commit to something just because someone said you should.
I agree.
Would you like to give them a little bit of a preview for the next episode?
Okay, so for our next episode, which, unless life gets in the way, shall be on Saturday. Same time. We're going to be doing a blind book dating segment and a book discussion about one of our favorite, most chaotic and unhinged reads. The Mind F series by S.T. Abbey.
I've read it twice already.
Me too. I read it and then I listened to the audio and I had the same reaction.
Me too.
Now, try explaining the plot to someone. I did that with my work wife. She looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, girl, you don't get it. It's so good because this is happening. So we will get into more of that in detail next episode, because
absolutely, because that'll be fun. Because I think explaining plot can be very different from explaining the story.
Yes.
So all depends on how you're feeling. If you're super passionate, you're gonna go really quickly from explaining the plot to explaining the story. So. Yeah.
It's so fun. So yeah, and also in my opinion, it's a classic for its kind of genre. Like, it's a must read.
It is. It is indeed.
And unfortunately, we have already read it, so yay!
And with that, it's time for our farewells. So, if your books made you blush a little,
and your coffee still got your heart racing,
then our work here is done. This was Espresso Books After Dark. Love you guys.
Bye. Heart. You know, it's just it's like I once heard or saw. It's not so much about finding the time to read, but it's more about being able to dodge your responsibilities.
I want to fall deeply in love with stories. I think in 25, I got busy and then I felt committed to certain things. And at some points, it felt more obligatory than it did for enjoyment. And towards the end of 25, I found my joy in reading a little bit again. So this year, I really want to prioritize just reading what I love and what I want. Like, I'm not overcommitting myself on signups. I'm genuinely just reading what I want to read. But like that's a rarity, okay? We're talking about like you're just vibing. You know, people talk about, oh, that was written so bad, and it's like, did we read the same book? Errors did not exist in this book. There
Yeah.
was not a word spelled wrong. A comma wasn't missing. None of that. That blinders were on, and we were just vibing. So, if your books made you blush a little,
and your coffee still got your heart racing,
then our work
then
here
our
is
work here is
done.
done.
This
This
was
was
Espresso and
Espresso
Books
Books
After Dark.
and
Love you guys.
Bye. Heart.